It's Express Yourself with the Professor. Call in and participate at 326-0271 or 326-0272. Follow us live on Facebook and globalradio99.5fm.com. Express Yourself live on Global Radio 99.5 FM.
Good afternoon, Bahamas. This is Professor Sidney MacArthur Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network 99.5 FM. This is a great day to be in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, and so many people want to come here. We are a blessed nation. What is happening right now? Things are moving so fast nationally. Being a talk show host, it is sometimes difficult to keep up with what's going on. Things are changing so rapidly. Bahamians, I told you we lost 50 years in 9 months, up to this point. And a few days. You and I are going to have to work very, very quickly to change a trend that is developing in our country, which is not in our best interest. Now, you know what the topic is for today. I'll just remind you. And of course, we heard about the Free National Movement. They're having this one-day convention. That has created a buzz of excitement among the Bahamian people. I tried to get to the leadership of that party before I came here on air. I was not successful. How is it that you have a headquarters, you have no one there who can speak to someone about what's going on in the Free National Movement? Then they gave me another number. That number is out of order. I got a number for the chairman, and that number is out of order. Someone told me this is the way they do business. Is that what you want, Bahamians, when you're trying to get a hold of your representatives? All you get is numbers out of order. You have a headquarters right on Mackey Street, and no one is there who can answer any questions. They told me the chairman and the leaders in Grand Bahama. Certainly you have more than the chairman and the leader of the party on the island of New Providence. And no, having made that big announcement, because I just got to hear about it a short while ago, that they had this big announcement from the Free National Movement Party. And I wanted to see if I could have gotten a live interview with the chairman or some other senior member of the party, because I wanted to get a party perspective. I believe political parties in this country have to be upfront and honest with the Bahamian people. Now, what is the track record? The Free National Movement has been in and out of government. They're in opposition now. They were in government before under Dr. Minnis, Hubert Minnis. He cut their term short. He said he saw some headwinds. I don't know what he was looking at, but that's what the man said. He called an early election. And some people got very upset about that. Those political personalities were looking for some checks, found out that their check was cut short. There are some other things that are happening, Bahamians. I'm coming back to the Free National Movement because that's topical, and I hadn't even prepared to talk about them. But things are moving so fast, Bahamians. And you know, when you get as young as I am, you got to move with the times. That's a topical issue, the one-day convention of the Free National Movement. I had already set my agenda for today, but I'm going to go into that, and we will comment about the Free National Movement, what was made known. I heard some remarks on the air, but I wanted to get a live interview with the chairman or some other senior personality in that party, getting the view of the party on current affairs and why they're having this one-day convention. And they said they're going to have a whole week for people to nominate. You can't nominate on the floor. What is happening in this country? The PLP was famous for having people nominate from the floor. And their last convention, they decided they're not going to do it. Now you got to pay. You ever see anything like that? For the first time in PLP history, they decide you want to run as leader, you got to pay. You want to run as deputy leader, you got to pay. What kind of nonsense is that? The founding fathers of the Progressive Liberal Party would be ashamed of what the current leadership has done to the Bahamian people. I never heard of nothing like that before. I don't know whether the FNM has that, but they say all seats are vacant as of June 1. So it remains to be seen whether Dr. Hubert Minnis will be running as leader or for the position of leader of the Free National Movement. This is going to be an exciting convention. It's only one day. I thought it might have been good if they had 2 or 3 days, but they backed it into one. And I believe that Bahamians have to watch the behavior of our elected and appointed personalities who run our national affairs. We have to watch what's going on, Bahamians. Otherwise, we can be duped and deceived by some people who have their own personal interest to fulfill. It ain't nothing to do with no nation, you know. They ain't checking for no nation. They want power for themselves, Bahamians. You who are elected and appointed, because you got both persons appointed and persons elected, that's in the system. That's in the Constitution. So they can't do nothing about that. But the point is, you have those very same personalities who have their own rotten, selfish ideas, that they want power to control the Bahamian electorate. You hear any nonsense like that? But you know they can't control it, you know. But some of you have bought into that crap, thinking that political parties could control you. That's not in the Constitution. But it has been going out year after year, decade after decade, and people get all confused. Some say, I'm born this particular political party, I die this particular political party. Any nonsense like that. That's not constitutional, Bahamians. Where do we get all this crap from? We must do something about the foolishness and the nonsense that have been occurring for 50 years and 9 months. It'll soon be 10 months, the 10th of next month. What are you going to do about it, Bahamians? Now, they can have their convention. The Constitution allows for that, political parties. But there's a vast difference between the government of the Bahamas and a political party. And you do not understand how serious that is. We're in serious trouble in this country. We are in very dangerous territory, living in the Bahamas, this beautiful country, because of the personalities who have been sent there to do your national affairs. They're the ones who are causing all of this trouble. And then there are others who say that some other people are controlling those particular personalities. You sent to the House of Assembly, you sent to the Senate, you sent to the Cabinet. And then, of course, these, all kind of ambassadorial position, ambassador at large. Then all these different treaties. Then you got memorandum of understanding. What kind of nonsense is this? But that's what has happened to the Bahamas 50 years and 9 months. And how do we benefit from that? Now, there's something else I want to tell you before I get into my real topic today. See, you never know when you come live on air what may happen at the very last minute. Something could crop up and that could just change the whole tempo of the show. But I can't do nothing about that. I got to keep my ears open. I got to listen. I got to be as up to date as I possibly can be. Of course, I have a team that works with me and helps me. Thank God for those faithful Bahamian women. I told you, the women make the men look good. Y'all don't believe that. Y'all want rowdy these women, these good Christian women who go to church on Saturday and Sunday. Y'all get like that. Leave our genuine Bahamian women alone. They have helped me for more than 50 years. They've been good helps. God made them to help the men. But you got to provide the leadership. You ain't providing no leadership. You want to be lazy and sloppy. What kind of nonsense is that? Then you leave all the responsibility on the women. Thank God for the women. The first woman in my life was my mother. She stood by me all her lifetime. But she had 11 other pigeons, 12 pigeons in total. I just happened to be number 4. And when my baby brother was born, these very hands held him. The first pigeon I ever held was him. And guess what? He got grand pigeon himself. You see that? He's a grandfather. Time has passed, Bahamians. So I got to hang around till the man come back because too many of our males are already gone. They left a whole dream load of children. What are we doing to ourselves, Bahamians? The young males are having sex with other females, and you have a dream load of children, boys and girls. They're looking at daddy, they're looking at mommy. And I feel sorry for these children because I was brought up in a protective environment. There was always mommy, there was always daddy, all day, every day, all night, every night. As young as I am, mommy and daddy was always there. I don't know what it is to be without mommy and daddy until, of course, my father passed first. Then couple of years later, my mother passed. But we always had protection from mommy and daddy. Now, I can tell you one thing. They don't believe nothing but you say. If a senior member of the family or a senior member in the community, the police officer, the shopkeeper, the old lady across the road, the school teacher, my mother and father would never, ever accept my word over their word. That's how they were. That's how they brought us up. So you couldn't say, teachers, no. I ain't listening to that. Daddy ain't listening to that. They can listen to what the teachers say. They can listen to what the shopkeepers say. They can listen to what the policemen say. That's gospel. Now, you parents, you don't behave like that today. You just have the children. And you can't be in big people company, you know. Oh, no. That was not allowed. That gave us time to go and play. You were not allowed to participate in big people company. You had no say. But now today, the children all mix up. Using obscene language with elders. Maybe we get that from. That's why I tell you this ain't no Bahamian thing. You have people who are purporting to be Bahamian. And both mommy and daddy were very strong disciplinarians. Very strong. You dare not step out of line with them. They put you back in check right away. 12 pigeons. Now, how many parents behave like that today? Where's that old-fashioned child-rearing principles that are being used today? I even see it declining in families that are close to me, where parents and grandparents are allowing the children and the grandchildren to behave in a manner that is very disrespectful. Then we wonder why we got so much crime. Plenty crime. Because we've departed from solid, rock-solid Christian principles that are entrenched in the Constitution. The supremacy of God. Some people don't want God in their knowledge. They believe they got their education, their master's degree, their doctorate degree. They got all kinds of degrees. But yet we have a multiplicity of problems which God's word and the Constitution of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas gives you the answer. So that's why I always say you put the Constitution of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas and the Holy Bible. You could always be a winner. But you leave God out. How could you leave God out of nation building? How could you leave God out of the family? How could you leave God out of the community? How we get like that? Genuine Bahamians do not commit murder. They do not commit rape. Now, they may have some other issues, but nothing like that. Oh, no. Because of solid, rock solid, godly principles. We don't behave that way. I don't want talking no foolishness, man. And this thing about suicide, give me a break. I looked in my own family, 6 generations plus deep, can't find one thread of evidence of suicide. I look at all the pigeons. We got plenty of pigeons in this family. All of them want to live. Not a living one talk about they want to take their life. So where did that crap come from? That's not Bahamian. But then the people say they is Bahamian. You know, if you kill yourself, you're going straight to hell. So what do you want to fool around with that for? You ask God to help you to repent of that wickedness and stop. Now, we have some issues, but we can overcome these issues. We have to fight to overcome these issues. Now, I'm going to get to what I said I was going to discuss today. I want to put it out for you to think about, because Bahamians, we have to get serious. The Free National Movement is having this one-day convention, June 1. Political parties can have their convention, but there's a vast difference between a political party and the government of the Bahamas. See, I can have to explain that to you in simple, basic, fundamental language, because I hear a lot of crappy talk on the radio stations from personalities who sit behind the microphone. They don't know any better. They talk a lot of foolishness and nonsense. And those who are calling to get answers, they ain't getting no constitutional answers, not a living one. Because those personalities cannot give them any rock-solid constitutional answers. Now, let me speak about the religious personalities. These are church leaders. I've been in the church for 53 years and 3 months, since my baptism, January 11, 1971. I've been in that same church, what I'm in now, Grace Communion International. Prior to that, it was called the Worldwide Church of God. I know why they changed the name, but that's what them new leaders did. 53 years and 3 months. And someone told me the other day I might be the most senior member in the church. Now, I'm not going anywhere. I'm here till the man come back. But we have to set an example for all these pigeons that are coming after us. Because too many of them have gone astray. They ain't checking for God and the word of God. How do you get like that? Hosea 4:6 tells us, my people, these are God's people now, I'm not talking about the devil people. 2 types of people in the world, the devil people and God people. God says, my people, who are called by my name, those people lack sound constitutional knowledge. I'm in a position to know that better than most people. And I see it throughout the Christian community. They just can't help their members. They just don't know. That doesn't mean they are ignorant or anything like that. They don't know, because the people told me. People say, Professor, we didn't know. That's why professors behind this microphone to tell you. You can't say now you don't know. Because, see, we got independence coming. I had to talk about independence. The thing is, Bahamians, we have a lot of work to do. And we've been sitting for 50 years and 9 months and did nothing. 50 years. You know how much time that is? You know how many people lived and died hoping for a better day and didn't see it? Does that mean anything to you? It certainly means a lot to me. My mother and father fought hard to get me where I am today. And they would be ashamed if I didn't do anything to help my country to be a better place than what they left it. And the country went down the drain and got deteriorated. deprivation. No man, woman, or child shall ever have their lives frustrated by deprivation. That's unconstitutional. So we can understand what we're supposed to be working with, Bahamians. It's right in the document. Plenty of y'all don't understand the document. It's written all this legal language. And one gentleman in my area told me he wanted a copy of the Constitution. I know when he starts to read that, he's going to have to put it down because he can't understand the language. It's legal language. And so many people, even though I've been on the internet from that time, that people could go online, say they could read it. You think people understand that? You think that woman in paying time with them 5 boys, she's cooking dinner for them right now, listening to this show. If you have any time to go check on any internet, trying to feed them hungry children and trying to find some money to pay the rent with the rent man come. Those are bread and butter issues for her. And many people in Fort Fincastle, in Centerville, in Fox Hill, I got no time to go looking this up and looking that up. They are struggling to survive. And we need to understand that. Some of you could probably live, but they can't. They're struggling to survive. So it's most important that we help our brothers and sisters who don't know any better. The strong are the better infirmities of the weak. That's a godly principle. Do we do that? And God says the rich are to share with the poor. You people who got plenty of money. You know you got plenty of money. You share that with the poor. Lend it to the poor. When you lend it to the poor, you lend it to God. God says he'll pay you back. But you ain't want to pay. You don't want to do that. You want to hold on to it. And see your brother and your sister suffer in the cold, and you wouldn't lift a finger to help them. Now, God speaks about some personalities who are that way. I just can give you a scripture. Luke 11:46. And I can leave it right there. Luke 11:46. And there are some other scriptures that go along with that one too. God doesn't mince words. He tells you the way it is. No ifs, no ands, no buts. And they ain't checking to see whether you agree with him or not, because he can have the last say. All you got to do is repent of your wickedness. That's all you have to do. He gives you an opportunity to do that. In fact, we just had our Passover on Sunday. In fact, this is the Days of Unleavened Bread. Now, plenty of you all don't know about the Days of Unleavened Bread. That's one of God's festivals, Leviticus 23. It lists all the 7 annual festivals of God. 2 holy days in the Days of Unleavened Bread. I think this is the 4th day. Yeah, the 4th day. Going into the 5th sundown, today will make going into the 5th day of the Days of Unleavened Bread. Meaning getting rid of sin. That's what we to practice on. God says, shall we continue in sin that grace may abound? God says, now don't fool around with that foolishness. Stop that foolishness. Stop that nonsense. Does that mean you keeping sweetheart? You got to stop keeping sweetheart. Stop hanging around them people's house. And go take care of them hungry children you got in your own house. Let that man and let that woman go find their own husband or their own wife. And God ain't interested in the LGBT foolishness. In fact, there's been a major victory for the people of God. I was informed of that, I think it was yesterday, by the Congress of the United States of America. See, God has people in key places to help us. And some of us are so oblivious to that. I know a particular personality say he's going to wait for the Spirit to speak to him. I just smiled. I said, okay, that's how you feel. So be it. God has already put it in his word. All we have to do is act on it, you know. We ain't got to wait. What you waiting for? And God has already put it right there so you can read it, you can study it, you can see it, live it, practice it. That's why I say I want to live in a glass house. So you ain't got to gossip about Professor Sidney MacArthur Walter Thompson. You'll see him 24/7. And I hope you like what you see. It is better if we stop the gossiping and the castigation of people's character, because it happened to a particular personality I knew. And everything that was said about that particular personality was false, because we went and checked it out. As I could tell you, it's foolishness and nonsense. Blown right up on social media. When you destroy people's character behaviors, it is very difficult to reverse it. Perhaps, maybe impossible, because you don't repent of your wickedness. You don't go back and apologize to the person putting all that crap out there. You don't even admit that you were wrong. That makes it even worse, because you're ready for next round of wickedness. And that's ungodly. That's not Bahamian. It's not right. It's not proper. But some of you participate in it. Now, I did say for today we want to discuss, and this ties in right with what the Free National Movement is doing for June 1. They're having a political convention. Those things precede what the questions I asked yesterday. What major national problems have been solved by the government of the Bahamas over the last 50 years and 9 months? By the government of the Bahamas, and here are the clear-cut benefits that come to the Bahamian people as a result of these major national problems having been solved. Bahamians, you got to get your eyes open, man. We got all kinds of problems around here. What major national problems have been solved by the government of the Bahamas on behalf of the Bahamian people? And here are the clear-cut benefits that come to the Bahamian people as a result of these major national problems having been solved. I ain't talking about what you try to do. I'm not interested in that. I'm talking about you write on one piece of paper, because one fella tell me he going by what he wrote on one piece of paper. That ain't no constitution. People write all kind of foolishness on pieces of paper and say that's how they're going to run things. The next one. What major constituency problems have been solved over the last 50 years and 9 months by the representative of that particular constituency? And here are the clear-cut benefits that come to the people of that particular constituency as a result of these major constituency problems having been solved. Like you Bahamians bypass these two important questions. Huh? You got to stop the foolishness. Don't give me no about you going to grade this one A, B, C. That means nothing. That's weightless. Null and void. Let's look at the hardcore evidence. Let's look at them constituency after constituency after constituency. And administration after administration after administration over 50 years and 9 months. What evidence do you see regarding solving major national problems? That's one. Major constituency problems in each of the 39 constituencies. They all got representatives, you know. What you got them there for? What is the purpose of a representative? Amy, you need to answer that, you know. You need to ask yourself that and answer it. If you don't know the answer, you got to find out what it is. What is the purpose of a government? Why do we have a government? Because some people were saying you can't depend on the government. What do you mean you can't depend on the government? They got billions of dollars to work with. Taxpayers' money. You tell me you can't depend on them? What kind of nonsense is that? Why are you filtering out billions of dollars? And I got something else to add to that. To these personalities who run this country. And then you can turn around and say you can't depend on them. That's just a couple of people. But they're handling the people's money. You got a Minister of Finance. See, my producer got to keep reminding me. I got to put my earphones on. Mr. Producer, I apologize. So when you get me going, I could go till the man come back. You tell me I got to go to a break. This is Professor Sidney MacArthur Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network. We'll be back after the break.
It's your chance to join the discussion of today's issue. Let your voice be heard. Speak your mind and express yourself. Call in and participate at 326-0271 or 326-0272. WhatsApp us your concerns on 809-2310. Follow us live on Facebook and globalradio99.5fm.com. Express yourself.
We are back. This is Professor Sidney MacArthur Walter Thompson. You heard the man just say, express yourself. Let your views be known. I want you to do that, Bahamians. We need to do that more now than ever before. And thanks to the people on Facebook, say they listen to the show every day in North Andrews. You got to send me an email, man. I got to get to know you people in North Andrews and Central Andrews and South Andrews. We are one nation, you know. We got all this modern communication around here. Now I use my telephone. I like to talk. And I appreciate you send me those emails. Don't stop sending the emails. I'm going to answer every single email. Now, some of you don't have on your phone where you could take a message. And I had some of them I had to call a couple of times, but I still didn't get through. But you could call me anytime. I'm open 6 days. Of course, sunset Friday, sunset Saturday, that's God's Sabbath, not my Sabbath. That's God's Sabbath. That's when I take a rest. The best night I have to sleep is Friday night. And I got one bed there my mother used to sleep in. That's the same bed that I sleep in today. I ain't got no back pain, no leg pain, no arm pain, no neck pain, no kind of pain. That bed massages my body very well. So I feel good. Of course, some of you have some health issues. You're suffering from this problem, that problem, the next problem. We kept the Passover on Sunday. Now, some of you just keep Easter and them kind of thing. But God's festivals are mentioned in Leviticus 23. And he says, these are my feasts, not them other people things. But now, that's a different subject altogether. I won't get into that today. Leviticus 23. But we are a nation under God. And there are some things we have to know because we got to listen to God. Tell us how to run our national affairs. Tell us how to get rid of crime. Tell us how to get rid of persons who commit murder. And let me just add this. You can't find any evidence in Scripture where God set up a prison system. You got no prison system. We got a prison right there in Fox Hill. Well, they call it corrections now. Department of Corrections. I don't know what they're correcting. Because people still commit murder. And they got people who just kill people in the prison. How do they get like that? In God's judicial system, there are no prisons. God said, you don't put people in prisons. Prisons are for somebody else. I think my producer, I'm so delighted we have this producer. He helps to get the host a lot, you know. So we're grateful for these technical people who assist us, who are on there. Sometimes we get carried away. And I didn't have my microphones on. That was a problem. Caller, you live on air. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, I'm early today.
You had a murder today?
I said early today.
Oh, yeah, you're early, yeah. You're learning fast, you know.
Yeah, listen. See, a whole lot of people don't understand.
Did you send me an email?
Not yet.
The man, you got to send me an email. You was a good caller, man. All them who call regularly, give me your emails. Just send me an email, Sydney M. Thompson @hotmail.com, and tell me something about you, your age and all them kind of things.
Okay.
What you do and so on.
All right.
Because I want to communicate with each individual person who sends me an email.
Okay.
I set aside time to do it. And I let them other people do them other things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isaiah 40:17 say, all nation has nothing unto the Lord.
That is true, yeah, you're right.
And a lot of people don't understand. You see, we got to thank God for his mercy. He said, all nation is like nothing to me. That means count them as less.
Zero. But he said when you go to count, you'll count it less than nothing.
And then I'll put it on down, like you say, he said you are counted less.
Less than nothing. Now, how can it be less than nothing?
Just like how we would say in our Bahamian language, oh my God, you ain't nothing.
Yes.
You see?
But now God says, when he go to count, all of us before him are less than zero.
Exactly.
Wow. Isn't that amazing?
So zero would be the last bottom.
That's the bottom you could go.
Okay.
And you're less than that zero.
Okay. Now, we see in Leviticus 18 and 14,
yes, sir,
where God established and say a man should not lie with his kind.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
So, well, as these people who promoting these things, they used to go to church, or they forsake God, or they turn their back on God, like Jeremiah 33 and 32.
Yes, sir.
They say, God, we don't want nothing to do with you. They turn their back on him. And this is what we seeing going on in this country, people who we look up to.
Yes.
And now, what are they doing? Now here come next month, you having the carnival. The people them want to put on the strip teams.
They're bringing them people here again?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Oh, yes. You know why they say that? Because we want to be like other nation. Other nation is dancing the road and dancing naked.
Yes.
We want to do the same thing. And all of these things were bitter against God, but Israel.
Yes.
You see? But my point, what I call you for, the F&M. You know, Dr. Menace did some good. And that's why the Bible says the things that man do, if he do good, you may not like the person, but speak good of him.
But let me see. Just explain to the audience what you thought to be good that Dr. Menace did.
I think, you see, if he was reckless and didn't really lock down this country, we would have been in more, you'd had more debt and more things. He was given food to the people, but then again, he could not be biased. One set of people were getting more than the next set of people.
But speaking about the food, I understand there was a sizable chunk of money into the millions.
Exactly.
I hadn't gotten a plate of food.
That's where I was going.
Yeah.
You see? And when the city was closed down, to my understanding, people out west in Life-Kidam, their business was open.
That's correct, yes.
And then when he make his mistake like the former Prime Minister Christie do. He said he was going to take care of the poor people when he get back in power. See,
Yeah,
not this.
that's what he said. Yes.
They were mistakes that he have made. I know
Yes.
he regret them. But for me to sit here and say, well, he didn't do some little good and stuff like that.
So what good did he do? I trying to figure out, did he solve, answer the question,
Go
did he
ahead.
solve any major national problems?
Well,
And what are the benefits?
I wouldn't say that he would solve the major problem. But when we look at the cruise port, look at the benefit now that is making on the country, on the airport. You see, hey.
I'm listening.
But now he's not my cup of tea. He's not my cup of tea. But I wouldn't like to see Mr. Penta. Mr. Penta is too rowdy.
Okay.
You don't need to be rowdy to get your point across, to be as a leader. The leader need to be firm, make decision. What could you do in one day for convention?
A lot of people are questioning that. A lot of people are questioning it.
You need to bring up things to the people that you will be able to address, to tell the people what you was going to do.
Yes.
And then he turn around and say, now listen here, there will be no more convention until after the general election.
I think that was a tragic mistake right there.
See, he making these error mistake again.
Yes.
So in other words, he tying everybody hand lock. If you ain't get in, don't look for nothing else until after the election. Who does that?
But caller, do they have to pay to run for the office of leader and deputy leader and them kind of thing?
I believe so. Well, I hear that one of your colleagues there, who's come on 4 o'clock, say he can put his hand aside, his hat in the race.
Oh, okay, all right.
So I'm asking you, and I put it to you before, what would you do to help run this country? You didn't answer my question yet.
Wait a minute now. You mean me personally?
I mean you.
Okay, but put the question out there and I can answer it for you today.
I'm asking you, what will you do to help to run this country? Will you join up at a party or you will be neutral?
Boy, you something else. Okay, all right. I'll answer the question.
Okay.
I'll answer it today.
Okay, thank you.
Well, that's an interesting question. You know, the problem in our country is personalities like myself who have the airwaves, the tendency is for people to kind of align you to a political party or to some political entity. But he asked a fair question. What would you do to help run the Commonwealth of Bahamas? I strongly believe in the Constitution. Now, God has given me a platform, and I appreciate this platform. I am going to train the Bahamian people to learn that Constitution and apply it. Now, I already told the Bahamian people, you don't know how to organize constitutionally. All you have to do is call Professor Sidney MacArthur Walter Thompson. He got 50 years experience in this thing. When you all say you didn't know, you didn't understand, you think I wasn't preparing it, you stay right there. People keep asking, what is it that they can do? And I'm going to speak to that today because I want to see change in this country. The caller asked me what I would do. Would I join a political body? Would I become affiliated with some political entity? Now, let's put it this way. You have to vote for a particular personality in a given area. You do not have to vote for the candidate of any political party. Let me repeat that. It would be better, see, I always use St. Barnabas Church and BTC. And I have to draw this analogy because it's a simple analogy and I want Bahamians to get it because it's something you go through with every single week, every single day. You're members in Barnabas Church, but you wait to BTC. You don't make no mistake by going to BTC 10 o'clock Sunday morning. You go into Barnabas Church. They had a minister preach the gospel. Neither do you tell those people at St. Barnabas Church, leave your job and come with me. Monday, we're going to BTC. Neither does he tell the people at BTC, leave your church. Next Sunday, you come in with me. We're going to St. Barnabas Church. Do you see them do that? They've been doing that for years, and they never made a mistake on it. For years. They know when to go to church. They know when to go to work. Well, pray tell me, how come? Why is it so difficult? And it isn't, But people make it appear to be so difficult to choose the right person in a given constituency to be the next representative to send to the House of Assembly. Because, Bahamians, that's what you need to do. You've been picking needles without eyes. That's why we're in the crap we're in today. That's why we have so many national problems today. That's why I asked the question about national problems. Have any been solved by the government of the Bahamas? That's one. Constituency problems. What major constituency problems have been solved by the representative of the particular constituency for the benefit of the people of that constituency? That's the questions I want to ask, and I need to hear from you, Bahamians, on it. There are many things that could be done. You don't have to necessarily join a political party. Let me put it this way. Say I got to speak constitutionally. You do not have to be a member of a political party to participate in the parliamentary democracy of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. And I can add this. You do not have to be a member of a political party to participate. Let me make sure I get it right now. My mom sent me to school to learn English. Okay? And Daddy, of course, too. You do not have to be a member of a political party or even a follower of a political party to participate in the theocratic, democratic, parliamentary democracy in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. Now, where did Professor get that theocratic one from? You just read your preamble, Bahamians. We're a nation under God. God has to have a say in this. And we ain't letting God tell us who is the right person to put in Centerville, who's the right person to put in Cat Island, who's the right person to put in Fox Hill. Come on, Bahamians. Are we looking to God to find the right person? When you're digging for valuables, you got to dig deep. It ain't on the top of the surface, sitting right on the ground. No. You got to wake. And I am saying to you, you need to be constitutionally organized. Up to this point right now, as I speak, you are not constitutionally organized. I know that for a fact. And I said, I want to work. I don't want to be lazy for the next 50 years. Because the people say they didn't know. Well, Bahamians, you know now. Let's start working today. Not tomorrow, not next week. And then, one caller called in the last show, he said, well, he not communicating with some people in his area where he lives. Let me say this to you, Bahamians. For a man to gain friends, he must be friendly with people. Now, the people that live in my area, some of the things they do I don't like, but I don't get into their private, personal affairs. Now, they just tell me all kinds of things, not only in that constituency or that particular part of the constituency, but all over the country. People tell you all kinds of things, but you can't talk it, You got to pray for them and ask God to help them. But you have to help them too. We must be well organized. Now, let me tell you about another team that's working on a Citizens Sovereign Wealth Fund. Citizens Sovereign Wealth Fund. I have to get more information on it so I could bring it to you on air. Because this takes sponsorship now, Bahamians. But it's worth it. Because I got it from good sources that every single genuine Bahamian, now that's my word, genuine Bahamian, not no paper Bahamian, can get up to $55,000 plus every single year right into your bank account because the money is already there. Now, how many of you know that? And we right here sitting in these communities trying to rub two quarters or 2 pennies. No, you don't have no more pennies, but 2 5-cent pieces together. $55,000 plus. You know what it is for that woman in Baintown? All of her sons will get $55,000 each. We have to have a citizens' sovereign wealth fund, Bahamian. Oh, my producer tells me someone is on the line. Call you live on air. Go ahead, please.
Hey, good afternoon again, Professor.
Hey, how are you, man?
Yeah, well, every chance I get, I work, as a musician, of course.
Yeah.
Everywhere I go, I speak to the young people, and I tell them about that money you're talking about right now.
Oh, yeah, the money right there.
And people are so, I wouldn't say unconcerned. I think it's ignorance or disbelief.
Let me just add a point there.
Please do.
I am going to get the hardcore evidence and present it. You see how I do with the Constitution?
Absolutely.
I'm going to bring it here on this radio station and give it to you bit by bit, piece by piece, little by little, because the money is there.
Absolutely.
$55,000 plus for every single genuine Bahamian citizen.
And
so we ain't got to be poor no more.
Thank you.
And that is a fact, a living fact.
Fact happening right now.
Right in your face.
Yeah.
But there are some people who don't want you to believe it because they want to be quiet. We're going to expose it. Just like I used to handle the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Bahamas. I'm going to get all that information, bring it here, but now you got to support the show now. Don't forget now, Bahamians.
Yes,
I tell you got to support the show.
$1, I'm going to do that.
Okay.
Trust me.
Yes.
I'm going to follow. I'm on board. And if we think we could bring back Menace to fix something, the man who said that sometimes you got to ignore
the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Bahamas. What kind of crap is that?
Thank you very much. But I call you today because you said earlier, I believe you were speaking about me, but I can't go next door. You know what I mean? But
yeah, okay.
But at my work, I assume my work people are more approachable than my neighbors, right?
My neighbors, yes. Okay.
Because I'll tell you this right now, Professor.
Yes, sir.
The gentleman from Freeport who called yesterday.
Yes.
He said, we're living in a time where we can't even use the word Haitian. Shh. You just insulted somebody. You're xenophobic. I'll tell you this right now, Professor, and you better believe this. When your show come on, I blast it because I'm walking between rooms in my apartment.
Uh-huh.
But sometimes I got to turn it down. I don't want my neighbors to hear that. They'll think I'm a organic Bahamian. That's what I live among right now. And anybody can tell you that. The guys where I used to live,
yes.
They had nothing but Haitian groundkeepers. Every time the radio say Haitian, I got to watch how they're looking at me now. Oh, you're part of this move. You don't like the movement. You don't like Haitians. So it is relevant and actually factual what the people are saying that we're into right now.
It is so.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And no, I do. I reach out to everybody I can. Trust me. And when I speak to them, I don't even know if I'm talking to a Haitian.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Great show as usual.
Well, thank you. Thank you for your contribution.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, the caller has some real issues, and that is true, but we can solve that problem. There's some Haitians in my area, too. Now, are they here legally? Yes or no? If you're not here legally, you go back home. You're in business there. You have no right to be here. So who are you to say we can't say Haitian and that's what you are? Why should we be afraid in our own country? God gave us this place. Haiti has their own place. He put the boundaries and say Haitians stay in Haiti. What you think you come in here for? To take my space? You got to be out of your mind. We ain't going in your place. You say you all want to handle things over there. You had it from 1804 when you became an independent nation. Now you have a broke up, messed up nation. And even though the man has resigned from the office of prime minister, yet you're still breaking up the place at Port-au-Prince. What are you doing that for? What that's supposed to mean? We have had our differences here in the Commonwealth of Bahamas. You see us breaking up Bay Street? I am surprised that I like it when I see tourists go around the House of Assembly. I just go there sometimes myself. I don't want to see no armed police around there with ammunition trying to protect the house. Why should we live like that? That's not the way we live in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. If they can't handle their affairs in Port-au-Prince, let them deal with that. That's nothing to do with us. And we should not be cowering and quietly saying the word Haitian. I'm not saying we have to be disrespectful to these people, so don't misunderstand me. But if you are here illegally, you must go back to where you belong. You don't belong here. If you come legally, you stay your time and you go when your time is up. Because I know of some who came to me and I said, well, what you doing here? This 2 and 3 years later, you still here? I don't do foolishness, Bahamians. Now, of course, the caller said he's in an environment that, is not the best for him. And I can understand that. But that does not mean we cannot solve that particular problem. That's an easy one to solve. God told the children of Israel, remove these strangers out of your land. God's principle stands the same way today. It ain't changed. You think God is changing? Say, no. I gave Haiti for Haitians, the Bahamas for Bahamians, Jamaica for Jamaicans. And you see the Cubans coming out too. They want to come here. Cuba for Cubans. Then we can get it straight. He set the boundaries of the different nations and say, you stay right over there. That's why I put plenty of water between here and Haiti. And yet those people come in these rickety boats, spending thousands and thousands of dollars on a dangerous voyage to come to the Commonwealth of the Bahamas illegally. We don't know how many died in those waters. And even though, like I said, and I heard the latest on the radio, the man stepped down, he resigned. They're still breaking up the place. What's wrong with those Asians? But that's what's happening in Port-au-Prince. And they are spreading across that country with violence. Do you want to see that happen in the Bahamas? The answer is no. We have got to stand up to stem the tide of strangers, foreigners, aliens, outsiders coming into this country illegally. Not just the Haitians, them Chinese people too. They're a little slick with the way how they handle things. And then people from the Philippines and them other people with what they call the pretty people. You wouldn't want to see them if they get sick, I'll tell you that. All the prettiness goes to the dust. So that doesn't mean anything. This flesh can change, Bahamians. It's the content of your character that's important. And anyone who stays in your country illegally don't have no good character. I couldn't care what happens in their own country. God gave them their country. God gave us our country. You stay where you belong. That's where God put you. Now, you ought to help your brothers and your sisters. See, we can help Haiti, We can show them how to move successfully from one administration to the next, as we have been doing from 1729, September of 1729, right on up to this very moment as I speak to you, without firing one shot to change an administration. They can learn from that. The United States can learn from that. They're supposed to be the bastion of democracy. You see the foolishness that happened over there? Where someone tried to overturn the last presidential results? A key personality who has not yet been charged, but some other people get charged and have been convicted. But the person behind the scenes who's been responsible for all of this damage that occurred in Washington has not yet been tried. So it's important that we in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas protect what is ours. That's why we have a constitution. Now they say they have a provisional committee or provisional government. That's fine. You know, Haiti's been through this before, many times before in the past. And then some people get a wild idea in their head. They want to break up the place. Any foolishness like that? You got to accept the results what the people vote for. They can't say you're going to break up the place because you don't like it. We don't do that in the Bahamas. Because we know that's not the way to behave. Bahamians don't behave like that. Now, some other people purporting to be Bahamians may behave like that. I got to go to a break because I hear the music in the background. The lines are open 326-0271, 326-0272. Of course, cable box 974. Of course, we're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, and other channels as well. I got to get those channels, mention it to you. This is Professor Sidney MacArthur Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network 99.5 FM. We'll be back after the break.
Rugs, and towels, all at affordable prices. YKS on 3 locations to serve you: Bahama Avenue, French Childs, and East Street South near the Sir Charles Hotel. YKS, where you can afford to look good.
From Cable Beach to Montague, it's your chance to join the discussion of today's issue. Let your voice be heard. Speak your mind and express yourself. Call in and participate at 326-0271 or 326-0272. WhatsApp us your concerns on 809-2310. Follow us live on Facebook and globalradio99.5fm.com. Express yourself.
This is Professor Sidney MacArthur Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network 99.5 FM. This is a great day to be in the Commonwealth of Bahamas. The lines are open 326-0271, 326-0272, cable box channel 974, global Facebook, global YouTube, and of course, the State of the Nation, issues of national importance. That's also on the Facebook. And there are some other channels. I have to get used to it to put it in my head so I could just rattle it off like I'm doing now with these things. And of course, the lines are open. I mentioned the lines. And I got 2 comments from Facebook, very good comments. And I want to encourage the people in Facebook to please be positive like you are today. I think this is very good because you asked some very good questions. And the 2 points I want to comment on. One is about the Sovereign Wealth Fund and whether it was unconstitutional what the government has done. Now, in fact, what they had set up was, I think we have a caller on the line. Caller, you're live on air. Go ahead, please.
Yes, good afternoon, Brother Thompson. How you doing, sir?
Hey, that's you, eh? I'm doing well.
Yeah, man, that's good to know, Brother Thompson. Brother Thompson, you saying Bahamians don't care like that? Like they don't like have that kind of attitude when things ain't right.
Now, what do you mean specifically?
You were saying something when how certain people just carry on in their country when certain things would go.
Oh yes, that's correct. Yeah, I'm a Bahamian,
Yeah,
genuine Bahamian.
You mean Bahamians don't care and got no more?
No. What I'm saying is that's not the Bahamian way of life. You see how they break up Haiti? You see how they break up Port-au-Prince? The man stepped down and they're still breaking up the place. What's wrong with those Haitian people?
Yeah, I mean, but it goes a little deeper than that, though, Brother Thompson. I mean, like if you really listen to the to the details to the details of the situation, then you'll understand because
it does not give people. Put the caller on hold. It does not give people the right to go and put necklaces around people's neck and put them on fire. I don't care what they're going through. Let's get that straight. There must be no excuse for murder. None whatsoever. And no sensible person would break up your own city, break up your own capital, break up your country because the man said he done resign. So what are you doing that for? Does that make any sense? It does not make any sense. Bahamians do not behave like that. And I challenge anyone to call now and tell me it ain't so. Bring the caller back up, please. Caller, you still there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
I mean, but you ain't got to tell the puppy and hold, Brother Thompson. I'll be quiet until you finish, sir. You know what I mean? I can be quiet until you finish.
All right, I can let you speak then. Let you get your point out.
But I was just referring to, I wasn't referring to that extreme stuff, but I mean, Brother Thompson, the Bible got some tricky things in it too. The Bible got some deep stuff in it too. God been telling people go and kill little children and all.
Wait, hold on. Put the caller on hold. Put him on hold. You see now, I can be careful with this now because someone said some crappy things on the air. I had to apologize to Bahamian people. And I do not intend to let that happen. Whenever God says anything, God is always right. He is never, ever wrong. People need to get that into their psyche. Whenever anything is in that Holy Bible, that is 100% accurate and precise. God is not like man. If God tells them go and kill them, that's God's order. He could bring them back to life. Man can't. But he can. And he had a specific reason why he told them to do it. Even the little babies. I know what the call is talking about. You think God is being unjust when you tell him to do that. He know how wicked those people are. And because we hadn't done it the way God said we must do it, we're catching hell right up to this very day. With them same people in the Middle East. They wouldn't listen to God. So you had something that has passed from one generation after another. And people have suffered heavily because we fail to carry out God's clear-cut instruction. If God tell you wipe them out, wipe them out. Let's go on to me. Bring the caller back up, please. Is the caller still there?
Yes, sir, Brother Thompson. Brother Thompson, you know, one of these days, I mean, as an individual who was alive and around at the time, right? One of these days, you probably could do. I mean, like if you have a good recollection of Burma Road riot, one of these days you need to like give us a little history lesson on that. And I thought about that the other day, and I felt that I think an individual or two might have lost their lives during that event, right? I was saying that I don't even know the individual's name, you know,
Okay.
and I was thinking to myself that all of us should know that individual's name, you know, that person's name should become a celebrated individual, the life of that person, seeing that they were fighting for rights and justice, etc., and the person lost their life. I feel as if, you know, we all should know who that individual or individuals were who lost their lives.
Had you done any research on it?
I didn't hear you, sir.
Had you done any research on it?
I mean, I've heard, not any personal, like,
You didn't do any research.
I just heard, like, you know, a little account here, a little account there, but I mean, I'm just saying that it's someone who was actually alive at the time.
No, hold on, caller, hold on. I asked you a question. Did you do any research on it?
I said no, sir.
Oh, okay, all right, okay.
I answered you. Yes, sir, but I was saying that, saying that there's no account like an eyewitness account. You know what I mean? Like there's no account there's no account better than someone who was around, who experienced the whole atmosphere and the whole feeling at the time, you know? It would be good if we could have that, like, just to know exactly what went down. We could have a first person account of it. But Brother Thompson, I was glad you asked the caller like what the MP did. I mean, what the former prime minister did, that was good. I was glad you asked. I was glad that you asked the question, like, you know, what do we need our MPs for? What are they for? I'm glad you asked those type of questions.
Now, can you answer the two major questions I asked? Because I'm not getting this from the callers who call in. They seem to be ducking around the bush.
Yes, sir. I can't answer nothing. Like, I mean, you know.
You live in a constituency, right?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Now, could you answer the question about the constituency? What major?
Nothing.
Okay. All right.
Nothing.
You say nothing. Well,
nothing.
that you can leave that right there.
Yes, sir. I mean, nothing. But
okay.
But you know, Brother Thompson, I think about the whole process sometimes, right? And you see how we got His Majesty's loyal opposition.
Yes.
And then we got His Majesty's loyal government.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, right. I mean, so how if His Majesty was a human being, he would have an autoimmune disease. You have some, you know what I mean? Because how could the opposition be against anything that the government is really for when both of them on the same side? You know, where's the people's official opposition? You know what I mean? Where's the people's government? You know, because I mean, you have to ask that too, Brother Thompson, because like when you ask what have any governments done over the past years, and when you really think about it, Brother Thompson, they have done nothing really to like really uplift us as a people. Like you say, how you talking about a sovereign wealth fund and different things. Like they have done nothing.
I gotta go into that one. Yeah.
Yes, so like they have done nothing. Like they have done nothing. Like not even say, well, you know, give everyone a X amount of a piece of land. Or I mean, like there's been no real movements by our government over the decades to implement anything that benefits the people. But over those decades, they've been passing laws and passing bills and doing all type things. But none of those things have ever gone to really benefit us. But
now, stop right there. What are you prepared to do about it?
What am I prepared to do about it? Well, I mean, me, one can't do nothing.
Wait, hold on now. No. Hold on. Just call it.
Yes, sir. So what I'm prepared to do about it is I'm prepared to for one, try to bring awareness to the people, right? To try
how are you prepared to do that?
By what you mean by trying to like spread information and trying to get individuals to know what is important and what
is the information that you're spreading accurate and precise?
Oh yes, I mean when I say information, I'm talking about things like for example, right now how our government is in the process of putting forth this bill that
the electricity
that seeks to that eliminate IRCA for 3 years.
Oh, that's a very important point you brought up.
Yeah, so some power company
I didn't get to that yet. Yes.
Yeah, so I mean what I want the people to do is like instead of like getting all riled up and getting all in a conversation now about this F&M convention that's coming up, right?
Yes.
Because that's the big talk now, right? You can't forget the bigger thing. You understand?
Say that again. I didn't catch the last part.
I said you cannot forget the bigger picture. You cannot.
Oh
forget,
yeah, you're right, Caller.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So
agree
you
with
cannot
yeah.
get. So you can't allow your attention. See, because people need to understand how important your attention is.
Yes.
How important your focus is. How important what you're looking at is. You understand, Brother Thompson?
Yes, sir.
And that is how a magician normally tricks people. He uses a sleight of hand where he distracts you with one hand. So you be looking at the hand that's moving all around or whatever, while the real trick is going on with the other hand.
Okay, all right.
You understand? So,
yes,
so it's all about focus. So if you're focusing on the wrong thing, you could get tricked.
Yeah, you could. Yeah.
You understand? So I mean, so Brother Thompson, so you see, the reason why our governments have been able to get away for the decades, passing a bunch of laws and bills, etc., that do not benefit us, it's because we've been focused on the wrong things.
Okay, now the right thing to focus on is your Constitution. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that because those are the laws of the land, and those are the things that gives you your limitations.
But you have the man who is in the office of Prime Minister tell the people he got one piece of paper with some things written on it. Say he going by that. That ain't no Constitution.
Well, but Thompson, now let me ask you a question. What are you willing to do about it?
What am I doing about it?
What are you willing to do about it?
I'm working on it right now.
You're working on it right now.
Yes, sir. That's correct. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I mean, as long as you're working on something to try because
the thing is, the Constitution is the most important document in this country.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, I mean definitely. I mean because it is the margin it's like the margins on the paper. It tells you how far you could go this way, how far you go that way. It's all about yes, sir. It's about yes, sir. Right. I agree with that, and I feel as if we're gonna have it, then we should try our best to see to it that it is adhered to, especially by our leaders. Like for example, the Constitution requires them to declare, right? The Constitution requires certain audits to be not only done but to be gazetted, right?
Yes.
I mean, these things are not taking place. So I mean, so
what then do you do about a government that behaves like that? Is there an answer to it?
Well, I mean, okay. I mean, for one, like you said before, the Constitution is the major guide, right? So whatever trespass, whatever they have done, that's an infraction against the Constitution. If the Constitution gives way for punishment, then that's what should happen. And I think that the penalty for not declaring, I think it's supposed to be like probably $10,000.
No, that's a statute. That's a statute law.
And up to 2 years in prison.
Hold on a minute. I understand what you're saying. That's a statute law. That ain't no constitutional law.
All right, but so the Constitution don't require for the law to be upheld?
No. I'm not saying it didn't. I'm not saying it. I just want you to know the difference between the Disclosure Act is a statute law. That ain't no constitutional law.
Oh, yeah, but but it's still a law.
Oh, yeah, it's a law, yeah.
Yes, sir, yes, sir.
And it should be adhered to.
Yes, sir.
And it has not been adhered to.
For how?
From the beginning.
From administration after administration, Brother Thompson.
Okay, all right. You can't disagree with that. I have to agree with it.
So yes, sir. So I mean, so you see, Brother Thompson, as long as we only continue to talk about issue to issue, right? I mean,
that is why I'm saying we have Article 24(1). It takes the collective will of a people. It is not the job for a particular personality to do by himself or herself. Definitely
not, Brother Thompson. And you know where I think we went wrong, Brother Thompson. See, back in the times when we had the little Burma Road ride or whatever, right? We all could have recognized. It was easy for us to recognize the problem because, like, it was like a majority of the people were being held back like an apartheid like system, and you could see it, right? So, like, basically, what they were really pushing for was just the ability to kind of like be segregated, like to be integrated into society, to be able to do certain things that they were not able to do, to work certain places that they couldn't work before, to go in the movie that they couldn't go in before, like a Martin Luther King type thing, when they really should have been focused on economic power. You understand? Because see, once we got to go in those places, nothing else changed except for we got to go in those places. You understand? And then and what happened is that the faces that used to rule over us that were a different shade became our shade, and then they throw their own shade on us.
Okay.
You understand where I come from? Because since then, there's been no real economic empowerment for us,
Yes.
right? Nothing has really changed in terms of like the Constitution wasn't real, like, because I mean, you know, we were coming from colonialism, so I mean, you know, maybe we were like you know what I mean? So it's not like the Constitution was written by us, for us, etc. So I mean, like,
Wait, hold on. What you said there, Dan? What did you just
Thompson,
say in that?
but Thompson, I know you love the Constitution, right?
No, what did you say, Carl? I got to understand you clearly.
But let me put in
that last part, what you say. I
Yeah,
understand the first part, the last part.
I could break it down a little simpler.
Okay, all right.
All right. The individuals who we give credit for, who we call our founding fathers, right? The PLP individuals, they ain't write no Constitution. Our Constitution.
Hold on. You sure about that?
Our Constitution and Jamaica's Constitution and all other colonies' Constitution are based on the same type of document. It's like a copy and print document, Brother Thompson. That's what it is.
You were saying to the people of this country that the founding fathers had no input into the Constitution of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas? Is that what you're telling us?
I'm telling you that they did not affect the Constitution at all.
You were saying no, but Colin, let's get this clear now. Are you saying to the people of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas that the founding fathers of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas had no input into the Constitution of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas? Is that what you're saying?
That's what I'm saying. None. And I'll go even further. I had a conversation with a prominent pastor. He's an individual. He's a prominent member of society.
Okay.
Right. And I had a conversation with him. This was about 15 years ago or something like that.
Yes.
But we had an opportunity to be in a room where it was just he, I, a brethren of mine,
when you say a brethren, you're talking about a family member.
No, I mean like a brother in the faith. Like
okay, all right, okay, yeah. I just want to understand. Yeah.
Yes, sir. And and I don't know if you remember. I don't know if you're familiar with the best glass man the country has ever known, Mr. Ali Reed. He used to do a glass. He used to have a glass.
Wait
operation.
a minute. He had a business on Bay Street, right?
Yes, sir. One
time.
Yes. But the last place he had it was in Old Trail by beach.
No, you're quite right. Yes, I remember him. Yes.
Yes, sir. He was. Yes, sir. It was him and his wife. God bless him.
Yes, him and his wife. Yes.
Yes. I love that man. That man is a great man. I feel as if we should. But
great
then, I want to say respect his wife and his son.
Yes.
But what I want to say is that it was he, his wife, me, the brethren, and the gentleman I'm talking about.
Okay.
And the lady who was organizing, because it was a little thing. It was only us in the room. And he expressed to me what took place during like the majority rule takeover and the PLP when we came in the government. He told me personally because I was talking to him and I was saying to him, like, you know, because I was trying to like hold him. I was trying to find out how come their generation didn't do more. You understand? And he told me that what happened was when people of our color came to power, that they were kind of surprised for one, like they never thought they would even been there. You know what I mean? So they were filled with this euphoric feeling because they never thought they would really get to that place. You understand? So they had no real vision. They had no real plan. You understand? So he said what happened was the individuals who used to run things, or the bigger people, tell them, man, look, don't worry about that, man. Y'all just chill out. We can handle everything. Y'all just do a little thing here, I do a little thing there, and we can handle everything. I think
what I'm hearing now, this sounds trivial, man. You mean to tell me my ma and pa who worked so hard, and my grandfather before them who worked so hard on both sides of my family, I know what they did. This particular personality you're talking about might be giving you misinformation.
No, sir. See,
why hasn't you not made it public?
I didn't hear you, sir.
Why hasn't this particular personality made it public?
Oh, man, because that isn't okay. Because we were talking about slavery too.
Why hasn't he made it public? Is it true or is it false?
But Thompson, see, you must admit that there are a lot of individuals, right, who are in influential positions, right, who keep their personal values to themselves if they do not agree with the public.
Caller, listen to me carefully. I'm not talking about one's personal business.
Yeah, but
but let me make my point then. You're having a good conversation. I'm accommodating you. If something affects the nation, the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, see, I go public with it, I don't
Yes,
keep
sir.
it private.
Yes, sir.
Now, my private life, but I tell them I live in one glass house now,
Yes, sir.
so they can't gossip on me. The point is that if this particular personality, and you don't have to give the name of the person if you don't
No,
want
I won't
to.
do that.
No, that's fine. You could do
Yes,
that. That's your right. If that is so, that individual ought to say that to the Bahamian people.
Yes, sir. And I kind of.
So why
expressed-
hasn't that individual done it? You should
But I
ask that
just-
person
but,
that.
but okay, Brother Thompson. I mean, let me ask you something. Now, like, you see the country we living in, right? You see the Bahamas, right? Right? Around here, the average Bahamian, right, doesn't care about slavery. Around here,
Caller,
no,
you
but
jump
wait a
into
minute, Brother Thompson.
conclusions.
Around here, the average Bahamian, black Bahamian, does not even care to acknowledge that they came from Africa.
Caller.
You understand?
Yeah,
So
but-
hold on a minute. So the point is that he, the gentleman, being an educated man, he knows that it's an objectionable truth. He knows that it is a reality that black people came from there. He knows, because he's an intelligent man, that slavery has had effects on us. He knows these things.
Okay.
But he knows within himself that we don't care about them things.
Okay, that is his assumption. That's his assumption. You know,
Yes,
but I don't care
No, I
nothing
mean,
about it.
that's also my assumption, because you asking me why he didn't tell the people.
No, but he didn't say specifically to you why. I asked the question,
Yes, sir,
and I'm
yes,
not
sir. So,
saying
yeah, so
I'm
that's
not
my
saying you would
assumption.
necessarily know it. You
Yes,
could
sir, that's
only
my
from what you
assumption.
assumption. Okay.
That's my
Well-
assumption of why he didn't do it.
Okay, well, thank you for your comment.
Yes, sir, but just let me finish up with this, Brother Thompson. And see, what he said, there is evidence of it to this day. And that's why
there's too much negativity in that. We don't need that after 50 years and 9 months, man. Come on.
we don't need what, Brother Thompson.
We don't need this negativity from this particular personality
No,
who's supposed to be so highly
wait,
educated.
hold on, Brother Thompson. It wasn't negativity. It was about the gentleman talking next to
I am
me.
saying if he knew those things, why did he not make it public? And I'm not saying you know why he didn't do it. I'm just, don't misunderstand me now. Because a person who is so highly educated and have all this knowledge, all this understanding, and takes it to the grave with him, that means nothing to the country.
Okay,
Absolutely
okay. And let me ask you a question, Brother Thompson. Look in the House of Assembly for the decades for the decades and the people that we have elected, right? They have been highly educated persons also, right? Why they can't balance a budget? Why they can't run the country in the black? Why every year the country got to go in debt? Greater debt. Why all these things happen with intelligent people? And most importantly, why has individuals who have been alive longer than me, been of age of understanding longer than me, allowed them to continue doing that
Caller,
stupidness?
you asked some good questions, and I appreciate that. I can answer plenty of them for you. Have a nice day, and thank you very much for your contribution. Mr. Producer, we have another caller there. Caller, you're live on air. Go ahead, please. I apologize for keeping you waiting. But I didn't want to just cut him like that. You know, he asked some good questions. I can answer them for him. Because he don't know the answer. But we don't need no negativity after 50 years and 9 months. We've had too much of that. Caller, go ahead, please. Don't mind me. I can talk till Christ come back. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, Professor.
Hey, how
I was on hold for much of that time waiting to answer the young man whose questioning first sounded very respectful, and he asked for information, and I was going to refer him to Sir Randall Fox's great work, The Faith That Moved the Mountain.
That's right.
Because you cannot respond in today's context unless you know the history of the place and the people.
Yes, ma'am.
But I can tell you from listening to that young man, the question I would ask him is the same one from the Bible. Whose report will you believe?
Yes.
He is believing the report of some people who had some real skewed vision.
This particular personality, he claims, supposed to be so highly educated, and if he knew these things,
may not have been a Bahamian. May not have been a Bahamian.
No, that's a different kettle of fish
and
altogether.
People who weren't Bahamians, who were excluded in 1973 for whatever reason.
Yes.
Maybe they weren't from a British colony.
No, they were not.
Or maybe they went back to wherever they came from,
Yeah.
or before they left. They had some some had real hurt feelings because they weren't allowed to serve, or they didn't get a particular benefit. But regarding the development that has gone here for 50 years, yes, we may have gone further, but there were certain spiritual requirements that we did not meet. And the Word of God says, when I give you houses that you did not build, and gardens you did not plant, you have a responsibility to carry out the law of God, the Word of God. And so any failures that you're looking at in our development are largely spiritual.
Yes, ma'am.
Because when you do not recognize that your voodoo working enemy is going to destroy the entire plan of God and do everything to put them back in their place, you're going to have big trouble. Huge problems. And Brother Thompson, we really need to encourage people to dig out the history. How did we get here? Who were the heroes? What did they stand for? What were their failures? Because, not all were successful in their spiritual and personal lives.
That's true,
Some left problems that nationally we have to deal with, which is why politicians get elected and believe that they can carry out Kamala Harris's, I call it cultural imperialism mandate of LGBT in the Christian Bahamas. You're in the wrong place. You need to buy a ticket to San Francisco or Atlanta, the gayest place on earth, not here. So some people, because they don't know the history, they're promoting all kinds of strange ideas. And over Thompson, I would also suggest that you look very carefully at that whole carbon credits conversation. From my memory, when Trump got elected in 2016 as president, he canceled the entire Paris Accord, where they were talking all this climate change nonsense. And I believe our prime minister has wasted a lot of precious time buying into that nonsense. It never happened. The monies that they were supposed to set aside for small developing states and other countries who have what we have ecologically, I don't know anywhere in the world that you can go and access that fund. So that we have people on the air talking big claims of millions and billions of dollars. There are some personality disordered people in our midst. They're looking for worship, Brother Thompson. You got to look very carefully before you mouth what you hear them say. Because when they get shame in a year or two, they just come up with a new lie. Unlike me and you that have to live here and guard our reputations jealously, they don't care. They'll tell a new lie. Yeah, they just say. Because I've been observing them over the years. When they're deep in somebody else's conversation, they make up a whole spin and a narrative and blackball everybody. Everybody no good and keeping the money. It's a lie. It's not even true. And because most of us don't know how many zeros go in a million. When you start talking a billion, we lost. Remember, I say it on the show all the time. Most of us don't know big money. So if you tell us, they rob you, there's $1 trillion. We don't know how much zero that is.
So, Lady Russell, let me. Don't we have natural resources in this country?
Yes, we have.
And aren't they worth something? Those natural resources, now, and many of them. Hold on now,
Lady Russell. Here's what we got to do. Go ahead, carry on.
I know you're excited about these things, but I have to look into the information. This has to do with seagrass.
Yes, which bank you going to and get out which money for it? Yes, it's worth something, but where and to whom? These people make up stories and check the tense of the language. Whenever you start hearing people talk about the future perfect, will, should have, might be, gonna be. Hey, only Jesus could talk to me in the future tense, and I believe it because he's able to make the future tense a reality.
We understand that this is present tense, Lady Russell. Not
present tense. Those things have value. Yeah, they have value, but I'm telling you that entire system of money that was to be put in place, it never happened. Because when Trump got to be the president in 2016, that whole conversation went out the door. Now, when Biden won again the other day, he put it back. And remember, Prime Minister Davis went to the big conference, this climate conference and the next climate conference. It's a conversation The last climate conference they went to in Dubai, you know what the Sultan who put it together tells our Prime Minister? There is no scientific evidence of what you are saying. How you can go to an oil-rich country and tell the people they need to come out of the oil business? And you're in the wrong conversation. And just like that young man who hung up, just finished saying, you got to be so careful that you're latched into the correct reality or you'll waste precious time. And where there is no vision, a people perish. I guard jealously the food supply we have coming to this place. The light which we could still afford to barely keep on, and the water that running through the pipes. We have to be locked into the correct reality or our people will go hungry. All that I tell you, but Thompson, just you know how to research. Do your examination, because a lot of people here talking all them fancy foolishness. They're looking for worship. They try to get people to follow them. I'm following the Lord Jesus Christ, not them and foolish arguments. And there is no climate change. The Bible says the earth abideth forever. God said He, wisdom, set up the boundaries of the sea. So when we can drown? When after Jesus coming? Give me a break. You can't buy into every foolish argument unless they paying you. And so most of the people here talking foolishness, somebody give them something. They ain't give me nothing, so I ain't joining them. God bless you for the talk.
Thank you, Lady Russell. Thank you for your contribution. I knew this was going to build a firestorm. Lady Russell has her viewpoints. We're going to be looking into the carbon credits very carefully. And we're going to examine the evidence now, just like I do with the Constitution. We are going to look at the evidence. We know we have natural resources that are worth billions, perhaps hundreds of billions of dollars. But the question is, are we prepared to examine the evidence? Because some things may sound to be too good to be true. But we have to find hardcore evidence. We have plenty of salt here. How is the salt benefiting the Bahamian people in Engliston, or the people in Baintown, or the people in Fort Fincastle where I live? There's no benefit for us, but we got plenty of salt in the Nagua. We got the seagrass that's in the water. What value is that to the Bahamian people? These are the kind of things we ought to be looking into and getting factual data on it. There will be some who would oppose it. There will be some who will be for it. This is Professor Sidney MacArthur, Walter Thompson, my producer, is being very patient with me. We'll be back after the break.
And participate at 326-0271 or 326-0272. WhatsApp us your concerns on 809-2310. Follow us live on Facebook and Global Radio 99.5FM.com. Express yourself.
We're back. This is Professor Sidney MacArthur Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network 99.5 FM. The last caller, Lady Russell, you know, she has some very strong views, and that's fine. She's a part of the Patriots team, has seven people plus their lawyer. The point is, you're going to have people who have views for or against, but we are here the same way I know the Constitution of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. I will examine the carbon credits and the seagrass and get hardcore evidence either for or against. But we must know the truth. People don't know the Constitution. There are people in this country who don't want poor people to get anything. But there's someone else that's working on some things to help poor people. I can deal with that later. Call you live on here. Go ahead.
Oh, man, I had to call back after
Yes, sir.
Lady Russell.
Yeah.
My good friend, trust me.
Yeah, I didn't expect anything better. I mean, she has a view, and I'm not going to knock her for that.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I've been following her. I think she's the best spokesperson.
Oh, she's good.
She's
good at what she does.
Amazing, right?
Yeah, she's
Because
good.
the other day she called in and she was saying how misguided we are from our leadership.
Yes, she's correct.
Yeah,
she's
she's
correct
buying
on that.
into it now all of a sudden.
But listen, I just said just before you came on, we got some other person who's looking into some serious money that has been set aside to help the poor people of this country. We haven't gotten it yet. I can't tell that 85-year-old woman she got to wait. We got to get that check to her today.
When I read in the papers, it's been documented that we received 700. I'm afraid to say the word billion.
Yes.
Already?
Yes.
Okay. Well, but my point is, from where I sit, after I've heard Lady Russell just now, Philippa, my good friend, what I don't understand is, if she doesn't believe it's true, why did she make that call? Just sit back and see. What do you make that call for? I've been believing this now for a couple of years.
Yes.
Since Mr. Bean brought it to our attention. And it's coming to fruition.
But here's the point. Someone gave me, I won't call the name of the person, but someone gave me some information on a particular personality. It was checked out. It was all over Facebook now.
Yes.
Discrediting the character of the individual. And guess what? It was all false. And that very same particular personality that gave me the information went very quiet, did not even apologize to the individual who was hurt.
Wow.
You get what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
That's how people are.
Yes,
but
sir.
the point is, we can know the truth, and the truth will make you free. That's why I base everything on the Constitution and the Holy Bible.
Exactly. And here we are. We're just sitting back, grasping on information that's given to us.
Yes.
I don't sit in the little private setting, the upper room, the House of Assembly or the cabinet. I don't live there. I can only see what I believe as a 70-year-old man.
Yes.
What I believe based on not just what I've been told by authorities here.
Yes.
But my eyes on the outside also.
Yes.
And she's basing this because of Donald Trump's decision. That's it. Donald Trump.
Listen, I heard her talk about Donald Trump. All right? This particular personality was not man enough to be there to see President Biden sworn in as President of the United States. He told us that someone stole the election from him. That's what the man said. And there are people in the United States who believe that crap that came out of his mouth.
Wow. I didn't
Say
know
the people
that,
steal it from him. And he ain't got no proof to show that they stole anything from him. Because every court he went in, he lost.
I really didn't believe it. I mean, I stopped following the American politics because I was so disappointed in so many ways. I just stopped looking. I just focused on the Bahamas right now. But I didn't know he didn't show up to the inauguration of
No, he didn't. You anybody talk about that?
That speaks to his character, eh?
He ain't got no character. That's the problem. He got nothing.
But one thing I like about him, I got to tell you this. He may be a racist like white people more than black people. He might be a nationalist because he definitely likes Americans more than anybody else in the world.
But Carla, his own niece spoke about him. Now, that's one close to him. And she wrote a book about him, the kind of personality he really is. And that book is available for the public to read and study and understand.
But I'll let you go right now. But I just
sir.
wanted to say, when I used to call in about my financial situation,
yes.
my years and in these days now,
well, you can get your
like
55.
Sister Russell said, I leave that up to God.
Now
and I see God is working.
We can make sure you get your $55,000. You don't worry about that.
Thank you very much.
I can get mine too. And that woman in Baintown who got them 5 boys, each of them getting 55,000 plus.
Thank you.
Plus, she can get hers too.
I believe this. I
could use mine right now.
Okay, Professor.
Yeah.
Sorry to call you twice. But,
no, that's fine. That's fine. I appreciate that.
Okay. God bless.
Yeah, okay, all right. Bahamians, we have to get our money. That is due to us. There is some other grouping that is working on getting monies that are available to the poor people of the Commonwealth. You know, we've been hoodwinked so many times. Why you keep hearing me stress 50 years and 9 months? And when it comes to 50 years and 10 months, I can talk that too. Because we have been hoodwinked and lied to by persons who were given responsibility over the national affairs of the Bahamian people. They botched us up the place. And there are those who have benefited heavily at the expense of the poor people of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. And then another caller is going to say, my mother and father, my grandparents before them did nothing to bring about independence in this country. Something was just given to us. Yeah, any crap like that? The founding fathers just, they just went to London. Let's take this. It's not true. I allowed the caller to express his view. Constitutionally, he has a right to do that. But you got people who are telling lies. Let me just say this about the Constitution. The Constitution is the supreme law of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. And those who've been given responsibility to govern this place themselves do not respect the Constitution. That's a dilemma we're in, Bahamians. You think we should just roll over and die? You got to be crazy. We have to take, Mr. Caller, Mr. Bruce, we have a caller? Okay, okay, all right, okay. See, I want to get some things out, man. And, the caller did tell me nothing has been done. I and from other people, Bahamians, y'all got to look at these things about these major national problems and these major constituency problems. Let's deal with some harsh reality because families are hurting today. And they should be getting that check for $55,000 plus. You know what that would do for each genuine Bahamian, not them people who say, paper Bahamian, because the man say, no paper Bahamian. You got some people who cannot qualify. Only for some people use the word organic, but I can use that word too, since they won't use that word organic. I like to use the word genuine Bahamian. I know what a Bahamian is, a genuine Bahamian. Now, some of them might be a little mixed up when it comes to the Constitution, so I just, tell them, well, don't worry about that. I'm going to straighten that out. But then you got some others whom God has called out to do some other things, to deal with our money. And there's another entity that's working on getting the money. The money is there, Bahamians, for us to get. We've been 50 years and 9 months as an independent nation. We ain't get it yet, but we can get it. All of it, with interest. The Constitution says, we, the inheritors and successors to this family of islands, rocks, and keys, That means all the islands belong to Bahamians. All the keys belong to Bahamians. All the rocks belong to Bahamian. But that fellow said they bought an island. Any foolishness like that? Where did the money go? Did the money come to the Bahamian people? But they say they sell an island. What kind of nonsense is this? That must change, Bahamians. That is contrary to the Constitution of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. Because the islands, the rocks, and the keys belong to the Bahamian people, and they ought to benefit. So we have to have people in office who are going to look out for the interests of the Bahamian people, not their own personal. We could fix that one now. That's why I say you look at the track record of those who've had the opportunity to govern this place. And even though that particular caller might have gotten some misinformation, in fact, too much of it in my view, but we cannot allow misinformation to go out unchallenged. Not when it comes to the Constitution. But you got some financial people who know about these financial things better than I do. I can bring, according to what the person said on Facebook, I'm going to bring an expert and invite that expert to come in and talk about these carbon credits and to see the value of the seagrass that we have and some other things we have. Look at our sand. Are we benefiting from that? Are we benefiting from the Ragonite? But yet some people getting the thing and carting it out of the country. Where's the benefit of that woman in Dayton who got them 5 boys? She ain't got her first penny yet. She got to get the $55,000 plus for herself and her 5 boys. That's 5 times 55. Let's make it 60,000. 5 by 60,000. $300,000. You know what I could do for her? And we must just sit back and allow some people to steal it from us? Is that what we want? And stay in poverty? And you can tell me my ma and pa did nothing to bring about independence? You got to be crazy. Don't talk no foolishness around me. My mother and father and my grandparents before them labored to get us where we are today. The founding fathers did something. We were ahead of Martin Luther King. I see a lot of y'all don't even know that. They talk about Black history every February. That's what they do in the United States. We do not show the kind of respect. Bahamian people, you do not show the kind of respect for those who sacrifice heavily for this country. Now, Martin Luther King did something. See, when we had majority rule in 68, he was still trying to fight black toilets, white toilets, black taps, black, white taps. Trying to get black people to sit around on the counters around the restaurant. We were ahead of them. We're ahead of the United States of America. Do you know that? I told you from 1729 right on up to now, not one shot fired to change an administration. That's a remarkable record, and we have done nothing with it. We listen to these crappy people coming in there talking foolishness and nonsense. We have our own record right there to speak for itself. We don't accentuate it. We don't pay attention to it. The peace and the tranquility that has been in this country for almost 300 years. From 1729. I'll be around here talking foolishness and nonsense. Some other people bringing garbage in here. I'll be paying attention to the garbage. That's why we have to write our own history. The only regret that I have is that the founding fathers didn't leave any notes. Now, why they didn't, I don't know. I have to go by what the Constitution says. I don't want no one talking no crap in my ears. about what this one say in one corner somewhere and supposed to be so highly educated? Give me a break, man. You keep it right there in the corner with you. I can put it on the airwaves because I want the people to know the Constitution. And we can deal with those finances the same way I've been dealing with the Constitution. And the information must be accurate and precise. And if it ain't so, I will say so. Because no one has yet been able to stand up and say Professor Sidney MacArthur Walter Thompson is not correct on constitutional issues. Not a living soul. From the years I've been talking about the Constitution and putting it live on air, you know. Not talking no secret room with a couple of people around, probably drinking something, smoking something, eating something. Live on air. That's where it ought to be. So you can learn from it. And I told one fellow, or a particular personality, I would draw the fellow backward. You know, I'll say the particular personality. I said to that particular personality, you asked me that question on air. And let me answer it so everybody in the Commonwealth of Bahamas will hear what Professor Sidney MacArthur Walter Thompson said. I tell you, I want to live in one glass house, you know. So y'all could stop gossiping about people. You ain't gossip about Professor Sidney MacArthur Walter Thompson because you will know the truth. You didn't see him snooping around nobody's house 2 a.m. in the morning. I in my mom's bed. That's where I would be then. Or I would be awakened. I hear the music in the background. Mr. Bruce, I know I got a couple more minutes. The point is, Bahamians, we've got to get serious about our nation. Seven ain't get to talk about independence. I can talk about that Monday. In fact, my guest told me I need to start talking about the Constitution again, like I used to do. I can do that on Monday. I can start it on Monday because I got to talk about independence, man. I ain't get to put that in yet. I had so many distractions today. But I can fix that. And you need to prepare to celebrate 51 years as an independent nation, because I can be celebrating. No matter what these people have done. This is our country. This is our nation. We must do what is right. So Monday, Constitution Day, every Monday on this radio show, we will have Constitution Day. The Constitution of the Commonwealth of Bahamas is the supreme law of the land. That is what we are to govern and run things by. And those who don't want to do it, just pack your bag, get out of the way, and let the Bahamian people put the right people there in place. They want nothing happen to you now. But God has a way of getting you out of the way if you don't want to move. He told the children of Israel, drive them out. And he ain't changing that for nobody. You must always agree with God because God is always right. He gave Haiti for Haitians, Jamaica for Jamaicans, Cuba for Cubans, the Bahamas for Bahamians. We got plenty of wealth in this place and we're going to get our things no matter what nobody say. This has been Professor Sidney MacArthur Walter Thompson. I'm sorry I ain't got no more show tomorrow. But Monday, by the grace of God, I'll be here from 2 to 4. Have a very pleasant afternoon and thank you very much.
Global 99.5 FM.